Brodes Media.
Give me 7 games of that, please. Give me 7 games. Well, really, I want 4 if we're going to be honest. But give me a 7-game series that was entertaining as hell. And it's even sweeter when your squad, shorthanded, no James Harden. Obviously, you moved on from Seth Curry and Andre Drummond. So you really didn't have your team. And obviously, those guys are going to be here anyway. But you get my point that right now you're significantly playing undermanned. And here you have it. You go on the road after getting your ass kicked by Boston. You lose by 48. Boston ends up losing to the Detroit Pistons, and then the Sixers go on the road and beat Milwaukee. Make it make sense. This is exactly why I tell everybody to calm down throughout the 82-game season whenever something gets ugly or you think that an outcome should happen, a result should happen, but then you realize, it did it. Don't lose your cool, and I'll keep the same energy right now. Obviously, I'm excited. The game just ended, but I won't let the lows affect me too much, and in the bigger picture, I won't let the highs get way too extreme and way too high, even though in the moment, sure, I have a big smile on my face because that was a lot of fun, and it was awesome to watch Joel Embiid give you 42 points. It was awesome to see NIANG's out there cooking. He's cooking not only offensively, but I saw this man defensively too. He's taking a charge, and then at the end of the game, he's right there at the top of the three-point line and feeling he has his presence felt. His presence was definitely felt by the Bucks. That was an awesome move by Doc Rivers. It's clear the pathetic move by Doc Rivers was what we witnessed to start the fourth quarter with Shake Milton and Danny Green and Niang and Millsap and Korkmaz. That was tragic. And I don't know how Doc Rivers can consistently believe deep down that that's a method for success. No, it's problematic. And that almost costed them the basketball game tonight. And that makes me pissed off. I can't stand it. And he does it every single damn game. He makes awful decisions. But this team late came up very clutch. Whether it was Joel Embiid, whether it was Tobias Harris, let's not lose sight of what Tobias Harris did in the beginning stages of the game. Then when it got tied in the fourth quarter, he had that massive and one. And when he got trapped during the late possession, there was a double team right by the baseline. He was able to escape that, slither through, pass it to Niang, who ended up getting fouled and going to the line. So I know that's not the sexiest thing in the world, but that matters. It's fourth quarter. You have to close out. You're on the road. It's hostile. You got people just weighing you down with all their energy. You're getting double teamed, and he was able to make that play. I thought Tobias Harris had some big moments. TYRESE MAXEY in the second quarter. They scored 45 points in that second quarter, and the game changed. So I'll rip Doc Rivers for that horrible lineup, but I have to say, starting Niang, very smart. We kind of said, what? When we saw it originally, but it ended up paying dividends, and it was a massive part of your success. Not only that, when you stop playing Matisse Thybulle, and I was told that his defense is untradeable. This guy is so elite that he's untradeable. He can't play. He cannot play because he cannot play offense. Matisse Thybulle is an issue. All right? I just want to make that very clear. They changed the game. Doc Rivers changed the game when he elected to go to Furkan Korkmaz. Okay, that's how problematic Matisse Thybulle is on the offensive end. At one point, he logged in 14 minutes. He was 0 for 1 from the field and a foul. That's what he gave you. And that stings. That's awful. That's a horrible thing. He cannot play offense, and that will annihilate you. I actually have literally the play-by-play screenshotted from when Matisse Thybulle left the floor in that first half. So there was 4 minutes and 56 seconds to go. Furkan Korkmaz enters the game for Matisse Thybulle. From there, Embiid makes a 16-foot pull-up jumper from TYRESE MAXEY with the assist. TYRESE MAXEY makes 9-foot driving floater. TYRESE MAXEY makes 1 of 2. TYRESE MAXEY makes 2 of 2. TYRESE MAXEY makes 26-foot step-back jumper. TYRESE MAXEY makes 2-foot 2-point shot. Weird way to describe it, but that's what it says. Tyrese Maxey makes 1 of 1. Tyrese Maxey makes 2 of 2. And we continue. Or excuse me, was that an and 1? Oh, that was an and 1, excuse me. Just makes 1 of 1. Then it continues. Maxey makes 17-foot pull-up. Embiid, 14-foot step back. Maxey with the assist. It goes on and on and on. There is a problem with the spacing that Matisse Thybulle, he impacts it in the negative way when he's out there. So I don't know what to tell you. Now, for these games, which happen more than the other ones, he will throw a 6-steal game in there. And I don't want to focus on the negatives. Obviously, Niang hits 5 threes, and Toby had a good game, and Embiid had a good game, Tyrese had a good game. All these players had good games. I'm not trying to harp on the negative, but I do think it's extremely valuable just to note that Doc Rivers pushed 2 great buttons and then 1 awful button. And that 1 button happened to be going to Furkan Korkmaz. He was in the mix defensively, too, with that one. I think he ended up getting like a steal in there. I think the announcer said it was Niang, but it looked like it was Korkmaz on my first vision. He had that rebound, which they ended up calling it a jump ball, but I thought that he had it. I thought he deserved it. So give a little praise to Korkmaz, too. Finally, thank you for showing up. It's been about, 7 or 8 months, it feels like, but I'm loving James Harden on the bench, cheering on Tyrese Maxey, and he's doing exactly what I anticipated, which was, first off, realizing and recognizing how special Tyrese Maxey can be, and then helping him improve in so many different areas. Just wait. Just wait for the fingerprints of James Harden for more than just a handful of days. You even saw with Joel Embiid. I don't know which play I like the most. See, every game we can basically go through the Joel Embiid experience. Do you like when he's backing down Bobby Portis and then he faces him up and hits a one-legged jumper? Do you like the step back that he was practicing with James Harden? Do you like that one? Because that was intriguing too. And for everyone who mocked Embiid for what happened against Boston, that's silly because him already trying to attempt it, his first game in action since practicing at Camden with James Harden, that just shows you the intensity and who Joel Embiid is, where he puts his mind to it and he will make it happen. And when the shot clock is expiring in Milwaukee and he just does an outrageous step back at 7 feet tall, a dang, 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 this guy's ridiculous. He's absolutely absurd. He was so damn awesome. So I don't know which one I love the most. There was also the triple team, and he's fading away as he's getting triple team and one. Finishes through the contact. Let's play this game basically every single show, every post-game show. Which Joel Embiid which play made you aroused? Aroused. That's the word we'll use. Wow. Look, Giannis took a couple threes there late, and I saw that some people were bothered that he was wide open. Tobias dared him, and then he had the mid-range J, and then later on a fast break, he pulled up and made a 3 as well. I'm living with that any day of the week. Sure, Giannis made them, and he made a couple threes, and yeah, it hurt. It hurt you. He's a 30% shooter this season. He's a below 30% shooter for his entire career from 3. He's obviously gotten better at it and more comfortable taking certain shots. But if you're asking me, choose one, pick one, Giannis full speed downhill or Giannis popping a couple threes, I'll live and die with those threes. Just unfortunately, it hit nothing but net. But if I'm playing my number game and my stats game, yeah, Toby, dare him. I don't care. Dare him. Dare him to shoot him. Okay, so we made it. Let's get the basketball and go the other way. Who cares? The fact that they were up 8 points or so, 8-9 points at the end of the half, I was a little stunned considering they were down and it looked, the game might run away from them. They know they're undermanned. They know they're missing James Harden, but the will, the determination to fight back and to keep going. It's easy after you get your asses kicked by 48 on your own floor at home, and then you know the All-Star break's coming up. It's easy to mail it in. It says a lot about Joel Embiid. It says a lot about James Harden. It says a lot about just the professionalism of this group to make sure, hey, we got a half of basketball left. Do not let this slip.
Listen, I got one thing to say. It's the only thing. There's nothing in the universe that is more beautiful, more sexy than Joel Embiid playing basketball right now. It's impossible.
Wait a minute. You don't like my man bun?
I dig it, but it's not Joel Embiid.
All right. Now, what if Joel Embiid had the man bun?
That's 10 out of 10.
I agree.
That's like, that's 10 out of 10. Like, that's the perfect duo.
Nothing
could beat that.
Let me ask you this, all jokes aside. Which Joel Embiid moment? I guess this is sort of our new style of our post-game show. I don't know how long it'll last, but I'm feeling it in the moment. We're going to call it the Joel Embiid which play aroused you moment of the game. Do you have one that stood out to you the most? Is it the step back three?
Step back three is almost a one. But I think the best one was late in the game, fourth quarter, when he drove baseline and hit that little dunk shot and won. Like, that was so big in the game. That was so clutch. Like, to me, that was the best play for him in the game.
Yeah, he had so many. I love when he had Bobby Portis on him and he backed him down low, ended up facing him up in one-legged shot. Yeah, the baseline one where two guys collapse on him and it doesn't matter anyway. He kisses it off the glass. And thanks so much for calling it. You could just go through the dude at 42. And you know what's crazy? And I'm not saying this in any sort of negative way whatsoever. It shows you how numb we are to it. But at one point, I'm looking at the box score. It's like, oh, how many points does he have, right? Because I'm just watching. You get lost in the game. You get lost in the flow. You know, sometimes you just lose count on how many points he's actually at. And then you go back to the box. You go, what? Wait, what? 40? 42? Like, it just seems like another casual day at the office. Normally, like, let's use someone else, for example. If Tobias had 42, if Harden had 42, right? Like, 42. And it just seemed like a casual day, running down the floor, going to the line, playing the game in a simple way, being Joel Embiid. 42 points is an obnoxious amount of points. And the fact that that can go by as just another day punching my clock in and I'm paying my taxes, that's outrageous. And it doesn't even make sense to me that we could honestly feel that way after 48 minutes. Oh, yeah, what up for 42? Beautiful, isn't it?
Did you hear what Embiid said after the game, like right when it was over? He was saying like how he realized like the other night. So like some players like after a blowout like that, like they'll get in their head or whatever. But Embiid said he looked at the bigger picture and saw that the Celtics were knocking down everything and the Sixers just had a rough night. Like, how does that say like his mindset different from other people in the league?
Yeah,
Ben Simmons,
Ben Simmons' mindset's clearly 10,000% different than Ben Simmons for sure. I think that that's a very logical approach, though. And just like obviously tonight, and I mentioned this to kind of start the show, I'm having fun, I'm being goofy, I'm being excited because I'm living in the moment with it. But the big picture approach is, okay, so they got their asses kicked by 48 to Boston. Boston then loses to a horrific, and I mean horrible, Detroit Pistons team the next night. And then the Sixers go on the road without James Harden after they traded Seth and Andre. So they're obviously limited in what they can provide, and they make a lot of their shots, and they beat the Milwaukee Bucks on the road. So, you know, it is what it is over an 82-game season. When you break down a pie chart, there'll be nights that you can't miss. There'll be nights that you can't make a shot. And then really, when you look at the probability after all of it, you realize, like, okay, this team is good. Some nights are going to be ugly. Some nights are going to be great. Some nights you're going to be who you are. And when you're who you are and is better than the other team majority of the night, you see what you see this season, which is setting yourself up for a nice post-All-Star break run. And I love that approach by Embiid because it's logical and it's not getting too high or getting too low type of feel.
I agree. And another thing, people didn't think Embiid could get any better, but if he can get this step back three down, oh boy, how are you going to be able to stop him? I don't think you'll be able to.
Yeah, it's a great point. I thought last year there was no way for him to get better. I thought last year that this is Joel Embiid. He's playing at an MVP rate. This is Joel Embiid. Yet somehow, some way, here we are, and it's a step back. I mean, trust me, the step back's not the only move that's going to be added to his arsenal. It's not going to be the only move that's added to this Joel Embiid experience. Somehow, some way, he'll plop in something else that we don't even anticipate. Maybe it's even getting sharper at passing. It's clear that he's taking a jump in that area, right? I mean, he's throwing these passes across the court, and the fact that he sees a double team and triple team coming and already knows where to go with the basketball before the play even occurs, and he sees what the defense is throwing in his direction prior to anything even going down. That's such an added bonus to where he was. It's not an added bonus. I mean, it needed to be added. So it's not a bonus part of his game. It needed to happen and change. But the fact that it did as smoothly as it happened, now you're adding a fantastic passer and a half-court guy in James Harden who can help run this offense. I promise you that Joel is even going to get better in just passing the basketball too, which is tremendous. Tremendous.